The presenting sponsor of Moon Tower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Swoon Tower Soccer. I'm Mike Cragnola.
And I'm Steph Cragnola.
And we are all about the boys.
That's right. Today we are all about our boys and San Diego boys. We have no regular Swoon Tower content for you. That will come out on Friday, along with our Sporting Kansas City preview. But for this midweek game, we're trying something new. We are recording on a Tuesday night, and we are going to get this out so that you have 12 hours before the match starts to listen to it.
Yeah. This week we will be joined by Tony from San Diego Football. Tony, thank you so much for hopping on with us.
Yeah, thank you once again for the invitation. I really enjoyed last year and coming in and meeting a lot of people through the MLS and what everybody had to kind of, say about their teams and just be very welcoming. So it was a pleasure to come on back. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know one of the things that you had said was a goal last year when we first met was to get credentialed for the World Cup in 2026. How's that going?
Well, happy to report that we got the acceptance for the FIFA Media Hub, and we are there. And so we are somehow recognized journalists by per FIFA. I actually put it on a resume recently as a credits. I'm like, FIFA accredited journalist. Said it. They said it.
That's awesome. Good. Y'all deserve it. And I'm glad that last year was positive for you with the MLS switch, because I know that MLS can be crazy. And I think the exception to that, from what I've found, not always, but an exception to that, is this podcast community, is this group of people who are just so passionate about their club and about trying to make the stories of their players and their city stand out. So it's been nice to get to do these spotlights, and I'm glad that you've had that positive experience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Also, last year, what a way to join the league, right? Incredible team, playing incredible ball. Tell us a little bit about what that felt like as San Diego's first year in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the entire year, we come from a reporting standstill of just being a relative neutral of the team. It's just, all right, this has to kind of taper off, right? Like in soccer, right? And I hated to have been that person of like, well, typically in soccer, but also recognized, as you said, MLS is its own thing, right? Like it's so fun, dynamic, and that's the thing. It's actually fun. Like the league itself, the play is an entertaining version of soccer, right? and I have to admit that, as it does have its faults. But within the guides of what the league is, to have an inaugural team still come in and do what San Diego FC did was really fun, to have a front row seat to the building and developing of everything that was essentially promised when they were building the team. Hey, this is going to be a team that's going to be competitive. We're going to go ahead and have a great dynamic way of playing with verticality. We're going to have exciting names, and you may not know them now, but you're going to learn and respect these names. And literally everything kind of happened, and we're just kind of waiting to be like, all right, it's midnight and the carriage is still not a pump. So like, what's going on? And I think in a way too, it almost set it up for year two to have just incredibly high expectations that right now a lot of people and a lot of fans are kind of starting to understand MLS and starting to understand soccer even, and just knowing that like one year you can be up here, next year you can go ahead and be San Diego FC and dealing with what they're dealing with.
The parameters that make it possible for you to come in so hot as a first year team also unfortunately make it possible to go from the top of the West to the bottom. So
yeah, we experienced, I think, a very similar feeling between 2022 and 2023, where we finished 2022 and we were second in the West. We lost a heartbreaker of a game to LAFC in the Western Conference Final, and then 2023 it felt like we never got started. Is that kind of a sentiment around San Diego right now?
I think the sentiment, unfortunately, is or fortunately, however you may kind of stand if you're CHUCKY-LOZANO, but it's like, hey, weren't we this great team last year? Like, weren't we this just juggernaut of a squad and in this style that we adhered to? And I think again, those expectations were so high. Then you come in this year with 3 weeks cut off from your vacation time to play in CONCACAF Champions and CONCACAF Champions League in a separate tournament, the first time outside of Leagues Cup that they have to go ahead and play a international tournament, and this one means something, right?
Yeah.
And you go ahead and you get recalled 3 weeks earlier and you beat Pumas, you knock them out. Then you play against the reigning defending back-to-back champions in Toluca in Liga MX, and you win, even though you got 2 red cards in that match. What? Then you kind of come back home, and now that started a trend of, San Diego City's only earned 2 points in the last 10 matches. And so you're not used to this downswing. And I think that expectation that was created, unfortunately, they're paying for these not mistakes, but just situations. The team is injured. The team hasn't had their form. Now their captain's out. Number 6, Yepes Verskov in the midfield. Like, that's your ring general. That dude is the heartbeat of this team, and he's not there right now to help you out, and he's not going to be here until after the World Cup probably.
Yeah, he's killing my fantasy team not being there. We do a fantasy draft, and I was like, oh, obviously I'm taking the dog. Like, he just the way he plays the game and the ability that he has both on and off the ball is just, it's game changing, right? And not having a player like that in a league like MLS with a roster as thin maybe as an expansion team has, right? It's one of the problems that Austin FC has right now, where we're still relatively new as a club. And so that pipeline of academy kids into second team kids into first team players is still being built, right? I know on the San Diego side, a lot of this is supposed to be solved by this right to dream academy system, right? And so are you still seeing kind of that structure help the team despite the results that we're seeing right now?
I think so, because this is a project that's San Diego FC supposedly is building, right? They weren't in it for the immediate success. Everybody's going to say that from a marketing standpoint. And if it rolls out great and it actually pans out fantastic, year 1, San Diego FC. But with the academy wanting to and needing to start up, they're so invested in that they just decided no MLS next team, MLS 2, I guess, or affiliate even in the USL or anything like that, because they have this academy that has FC Northland playing over in the Danish league. Then you have an academy in Ghana where you can supposedly call people over whenever you want, but that's kind of not happening right now. Tyler Heaps, the sporting director, the general manager, essentially, built this team last year to be ready to go from day one. And he also saw that he got eliminated by a team in Vancouver that kind of built the roster the opposite. Vancouver built it and they had a foundation, and then they added the accent of Thomas Mueller as a DP with a well-established team. San Diego FC did the opposite. They just didn't add anybody. They said, let's go. We have everybody, move forward. And now I think Tyler's having a different approach. He has a couple of players that are coming back from injury. Lewis Morgan, who on paper should be recovered and doing really good in any MLS team, but not adapting to the system. And so it's a drawback for sure, but I know that there's going to be a lot of firepower added after the World Cup for any team, right? But for San Diego FC and FC Northland and the Right to Dream Academy, they're going to be looking to circle the wagons, and they're not going to be the most exciting names either. Like that's the thing. Like they'll get, who knew Anders Dreyer? Who knew Yepes Verskov? Like no one, but the play spoke for itself.
Well, and this season, Marcus Ingvartsen has come back and really exploded onto the team the way that it was expected he would last year before he got hurt, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why San Diego FC and Tyler Heaps and Mikey Vadas didn't go out so aggressively for another DP, having a third DP slot taken, one with Chucky, one with Dreyer on those wings. But Marcus and Varston coming over and being that center forward, that center figure, the tip of the spear, essentially, of what Right to Dream Academy is. You have Yepes Verskov in the midfield commanding that sixth position. He's going to play as a center back if he needs to. He's going to be a center attacking forward if he needs to. He's going to be everywhere on the pitch. But for Marcus and Varston, he's also that next piece of Right to Dream because he speaks it. He played in the system, and him and Yeppe were supposed to connect. And they didn't because of injury last year. He comes in and he starts working it. But unfortunately, it's not enough for San Diego FC. Marcus and Varston has scored 3 goals in the last 2 games, and they got 2 points out of it. And he's been on a tear, and it just hasn't been a complete team for San Diego FC. Added, they couldn't help themselves with 5 red cards. It's just incredible. Just
well, but
crazy.
I mean, along with stats, like to have a flat goal differential is incredible
for a team
for
in
a
13th
team
place.
in 13th place. Like that's not nothing. Is there conversation, like, I guess, what are the general San Diego vibes? Like, yes, this is not where you want to be on the table, but is your fan base nuanced and reasonable with their emotions? Or what are the general vibes like?
They're learning to have emotions, and in that kind of being able to focus it right now. And you're seeing it on social media, right? Like the banter with San Diego FC fans, just soccer fans in general on social media. The day after Chris McVeigh got a 3rd red card in the season, it was his birthday. So on the happy birthday post the day after, the comment section was just red card gifts, just a red emoji, like as it should be. Like that's how nature in soccer should be. And people are coming into that and learning, and that's awesome to see. But there's also the fan base, and we call them Chucky FC, who this team would be in first place and would have won and would have destroyed Toluca and would have been still in the tournament, and he would have made the World Cup had he played. And you're not going to change their mentality either way. You could be winning. And in that beginning of the year, flat goal differential, because you played against teams that you're supposed to beat 5-0. Like
right.
That was Montreal. Like you're kind of supposed to do those things. But then they've struggled, obviously, with those red cards, the injury, and they just have not been able to recover.
Can we talk about Chucky real quick?
Please.
Salaries came out today. He is the 4th highest paid player in MLS for guaranteed compensation, sitting just under 10 million. I guess I'm just so desperately curious. What? Because like I understand not wanting to keep or play a player if it's like a locker room problem or an attitude, but whatever it is, but like buy him out? Is he just too expensive to buy out? Is this a form of punishment? Like what is happening? It's so dramatic.
Well, if you're asking Chucky FC, it's a form of absolute torture. It's a war crime to have him benched and just not used for so long. And it's incredible the fact that this all started at the beginning of the season. Actually, before the beginning of the season. At the exit interviews for CHUCKY-LOZANO, we were out there at their training facilities, and every single player talks to Tyler Heaps, the general manager, sporting director, and head coach Mike Ibarras. Hey, this is what your year was. This is what our plans are going to move on forward. We're not going to move forward with you. Pack your bags, whatever. Chucky comes out, and his interview is, I am so ready for 2026. I'm so ready. I'm going to be here, guys. Smile. Cool. Coming back, first media availability for this upcoming year. Tyler Heaps, center stage. I had sources and I had kind of a good handle of what was about to happen. And I had my phone ready. I had the cameras ready just because I knew this is going to go ahead and blow up. Hey, what's up with Chucky? Well, not in our plans at all. He's just not and then Mikey Vadas came out, he's not a holistic fit into the squad. And that's just, it was an assassination of character on that day. And then you turn around and said, hey, he's a locker room cancer, but you want him? Please sell him. Please buy him. Nobody's going to pay his wages. Sure. So people were just like, nah. And they're like, well, Chucky, if you want to play in a World Cup, man, I'd be very smart of you to possibly just take less money. I'm cool. I'm in San Diego. And
Yeah.
Chucky on his stories is just enjoying life. If you follow Irving and Chucky Lozano on Instagram, it's, he's the Rick Steves of San Diego right now, and just kind of enjoying the beautiful just paisajes, like going and taking his family everywhere. And he'll go to the markets, and our HEB counterpart over here, and just saying hi to all the fans. By the way, love HEB. Just had a
HEB for governor.
Yeah, 100%. But and now it's just as you assassinate the guy's character. He's not going to go anywhere. The players also didn't want him in. And again, if you're interested in Chucky, like the Chucky telenovela, just follow San Diego Football, because we've been there. And like the national narrative's catching up. Last week it was like, oh, their teammates didn't like him either. We've been telling you that. Like, it was a matter of Chucky just didn't fit the Right to Dream program. And when you have a locker room of 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and you have a player who's not going with everybody else, then you're kind of want to go ahead and say addition by subtraction. We don't need this in here. We don't need this sort of behavior in here. We don't need you. We're going to be fine without you. By the way, you got benched by Pellegrino, a 35-year-old that was in the basement of San Jose Earthquakes and took your left wing position and went on a crazy run. We don't need you. Goodbye.
Yeah,
and Chucky was like, all right, cool, I'll just chill.
Is it an attitude thing? Is it a center of what is the heart of this conversation, right? Because to your point, like the Chucky FC fans very much believe that he's being done dirty by the club. And we're on the outside, and we've got, the national media saying exactly to your point that oh yeah, no one in the club is interested in working with Chucky. But what are you seeing that drove that to begin with?
I mean, you can take it both ways, right? Like a personality thing, and you can take it as it was just we've known what Chucky Lozano is in locker rooms. Back in Napoli, back in PSV Eindhoven, there's been reports in the national team, and you have a fiery player, you're going to get a fiery personality, and that's essentially what that kind of is on the field. If you have to march by a certain blueprint and you're not meeting that blueprint, sometimes when you divert away from it, you create your own chaos, and in that chaos, you're able to score, and you're able to go ahead and go against the grain, and that's what Chucky Lozano essentially was. Just like Milan Ilowski was. Yeah, he was trained at the academy in FC Northland. He knew and spoke the language of Right to Dream, but he did things a little bit differently, and that wasn't a fit. Yeah, you scored 5 goals, but you didn't score 5 goals the way we want you to score 5 goals. And so for Chucky, again, this is a combination of different things, and personalities were clashing. And, when you have that and you find the success in somebody like an Amal Pellegrino, you can almost say, well, if he can fill it in, anybody can fill it in. Why are we paying the amount of money that you saw earlier today with those numbers? Okay, we'll just cut our losses. And, I want you to ask anybody, hey, do you have an extra 24 million to just cut this guy when we can go ahead and try to sell him? It was just, I think that's the most inaugural season team move by San Diego FC. It was all together. I did to see your reaction, Stephanie, to the Cheeseman like a novela. It was great. It was.
I love it. I eat up telenovelas, like soap operas. Give them to me. Give them to me all day long. I love it.
And I think the Chucky story, especially for a team like Austin, who has needed creativity and a difference maker on the wing for quite a while, right? At the beginning of the season, when everyone in San Diego came out and was like, he's not in the plans. Immediately, all of us in our group chats were like, okay, so what will it take to get him? And to hear him be like, no, I'm good. I'm not leaving San Diego. Is this a situation where you're just going to have a guy like Chucky and a salary like $10 million a year taking beach selfies?
It's been happening, man. That's the thing. It's already happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's already happening. I live here. I 4 blocks away from the border. I cross in TJ and I go over there. You cross over there. I don't know how Texas works or just where you guys are, but you guys had any Spanish commercials for like World Cup stuff?
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you do, Chucky-Lozano's all over that. Chucky-Lozano's selling you cell phones on billboards in TJ in Mexico. Like it's just the machine, and he's a big name. He's a good big face. He's scored one of the greatest, if not most important goals in World Cup history for Mexico. That's the last goal that I celebrated with everything I had. Like I time, place, moment, smell, everything of that goal. But it's incredible. And if Chucky wants to, and the biggest chip that NFC has was the World Cup, then he may just say, you know what? I'm not gonna play. He can retire and say, I'm not gonna retire until my contract expires, and I'm gonna just milk it. And he can very well go ahead and do that.
Get that commercial money.
That's just so crazy.
Incredible. You know what? I love that for him. I do want to talk about tomorrow night. So the players that are playing, what should Austin be particularly attuned to? How are you feeling about tomorrow with Austin?
I think it's a matchup that is going to better serve both sides, just going after it and just being really vertical and really trying to get their best foot forward. Just the way San Diego works is that usually the storyline and the narrative works so much better for the team that's playing against a team from San Diego. So like Brandon Vasquez, CJ Fodry, the local kids scoring against San Diego, like breaking people's heart. Like that's just the natural storyline of what potentially can happen. But for San Diego FC, I think they're just in a moment of flux, right? They are so stuck to this right to dream style, but they don't have the conductor. You have Anibal Godoy, who has a little bit of a different flavor. He's more physical. He's more energy based, and he's a little bit more of a fiery midfielder with the number 20, the person who stepped up as the captain. He's the captain of the Panamanian national team. So he's locked and loaded. But it's going to be a matter of how San Diego is going to be able to maintain that identity. And if they can go ahead and keep it for a full 90, they've tied in the last 2 games and having a victory with LAFC 2-0 at minute 80, 1-0 against Seattle, and they tied in both of those matches. So, can they hold on for a full 90? I think that's going to be the key. And the healthiest team is probably going to end up getting the edge. And the second goal is going to be probably the most important goal, depending on who scores it.
And then who is going to be your goalkeeper? What's going on between the sticks for San Diego FC? This is a question that we never have to ask in Austin, right? It is going to be Brad Stuver until the day he dies. We will continue wheeling him out there. I don't care. He is a talisman. He is like the one constant for this club. But it seems like every week is a different guy for San Diego. What's going on?
Well, based on necessity too. Pablo Cisniega, goalkeeper who got an extension over the offseason, injured. He's going to be out for another couple of weeks. CJ Dos Santos, the starter for most of the year last year, had a pretty intense injury and, just kind of had to wear the mask. And, with that in the goalkeeping position, you lose a lot of confidence. Yes, he was healthy, but in that moment, he just wasn't there mentally to begin the season. Duran Ferri starts. He gets 3 clean sheets off the gate. I mean, great. And he also knows how to speak this right to dream style. He's really good with the ball at his feet. That's how San Diego likes to play out. And Duran Ferri is the starter here. He just got nominated for team of the match day for last week on the bench. But, he's a solid goalkeeper. And it's one of these things where fans, again, learning how to fan, they can fan in their own way. But, they look at the results and they're like, Duran needs to go. Duran needs to get out of here. He's the reason why we're losing these 10 game no winning. Duran against LAFC. CJ gets knocked out, gets his nose, messed with, has to come out. Last 5 minutes, Duran gets thrown in there cold. Set piece, goal. 2-2. Oh, it's Duran's fault. Yes, he's made some elementary moves. The kid's 19, and he's going to go ahead and make those. But save percentage wise, he's putting up the numbers. He knows how to be in this offensive side. And, Jacob Jackson, good story, good backup, because you need a backup. But it's going to be Duran for sure.
Yeah, and he's now your fourth string backup, right? Like coming onto the bench. So yeah, fascinating story going on between the sticks down there in San Diego this year. Do you think that instability leads to a little bit of the kind of late game like lapses for San Diego? Is that something that we talk a lot about, the consistency of a backline, right? Do you consider the goalkeeping position to be part of that crew as well?
I believe so. Especially in this style, you kind of need to ride the hot hand. And I think even if people were 100% healthy, there may be a chance where the hot hand kind of is the one that dictates. Whoever is definitely on that streak, doing well in training. We've seen Mikey Vadas, the head coach, be saying, you know what, they've performed well at training. Let's give them a chance this week, and they perform well. Pablo Cisniega did that last year. But the inconsistency for me that's most concerning is the defensive line. This defensive line has been unhealthy. There's no such thing as a right back in San Diego. That's a legend. Like, they just cannot go for 90 minutes or they keep getting injured. Verhoeven, Oscar Verhoeven on the right back position, he's the closest thing to having a full 90 right back. He is very young and kind of coming into it. Luca Bobino on the left back position. He's not going to be here forever. He's going to go to Europe pretty soon. Yeah. He's phenomenal. And then Mano Dua and Chris McVeigh in the center back positions. They're the best center back pairings, but they haven't been playing together because of red cards. Each Mano Dua having 2 red cards, Chris McVeigh having 3 red cards. And then you kind of have to tape everything together and say you're building consistency. Oh, but it's Duran's fault. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's wild. Like, obviously red cards affect everything, but I feel like center back pairing is so crucial, and like to not have both of them all the time is wildly debilitating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to add to that, right? Your boy, sorry for your fantasy team, Yepes Verskov, the reason he, was redlined was because he was having to come back in that center back position to make up for whoever was stepping up with the red card. And then you're asking him to transition the entire offense through him. Yeah. By the time he's on the other side, he's exhausted. He loses the ball where he's not supposed to. He's making mistakes because he's absolutely tired. And then he gets injured. And, he's more susceptible to injuries. And, that's kind of, the compacting effects the San Diego FC has had.
Yeah, and listeners who have been second team fans of Austin FC2 will definitely recognize Oscar Verhoeven's name. He was a big time prospect in MLS Next Pro a couple of years back. He had a very extreme bleach job, and the fans at Palmer Field were calling him Slim Shady.
Oh, yeah, that one.
And he reacted back, a lot of trash talking after he had assisted a goal. A huge personality on the kid. Love watching him play, but had definitely made himself an enemy in Austin. The fact that he is now on the field for San Diego will not escape a lot of our listeners' attention this weekend. Or I guess that. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I come across, it's going to be one I'm going to save in the back pocket. Like, hey, Oscar, you ever get called Slim Shady? And see what he says. I'll report back.
Yeah.
That'll actually be really helpful because Mike is convinced that his heckling is very impactful.
I didn't do this heckle for the record.
But it's the product of heckling.
Sure. All I'm saying is I know when it works. You know what I mean?
Okay.
No, I have to agree with that. Like, if you get a good zinger, if it's good enough, like, the player will remember it, but it's a double-edged sword because you can definitely feel that player.
Oh yeah.
I remember in indoor soccer here in the MASL, there was a goalkeeper, and I just look him up. And I'm like, oh, you're from this town? Like, is there 2 bicycles in the entire city? That's how terrible this town is. And like it got to him. San Diego Sockers won the championship, and I'll take credit for that.
Yeah, exactly. Tony gets it. See, Tony.
Okay.
What is the thing that we haven't talked about with San Diego FC that I think, or that you think needs to be talked about ahead of the match on Wednesday?
Isn't it crazy that after this amazing time that we've shared together, not once have we mentioned Anders Dreyer?
Right? Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Man, what a player.
Yeah. Incredible player. Best player in the league, not named Lionel Messi. Came out of nowhere, the bargain of the century for San Diego FC and Tyler Heaps, where they found him in the Belgian league in Anderlecht, and they just brought him over, and it was a dynamo. And so much so that he was able to go into his national team and potentially play for a spot in the World Cup, which would have landed him in the third game against Mexico in Azteca. Unfortunately, Anders Dreyer and company missed a penalty and were eliminated subsequently by
Anders Dreyer and company, or Anders Dreyer?
Anders Dreyer and I believe two other Danish players also missed a penalty. Like it was rough.
I mean, listen, I watched that last Italy game, so I know. Rough.
Yes. But Italy's had their glory. 4 of them. Come on.
Yeah.
But Anders Dreyer, I mean, hasn't necessarily been Anders Dreyer of last year. Yes, he's producing. He's being in an important spot, but he's having to go ahead and do so much more of the lifting because he just doesn't have a friend on the left wing. He just doesn't have that person. Amal Pellegrino has also been dealing with injuries. Again, Lewis Morgan up there. But, Anders Dreyer, I think he got a little sad. And he missed the penalty. He cost his team a World Cup. Like, I understand that. Like, I could not imagine being in those shoes and having to come back and face a team that's kind of sputtering and having to lift them moving forward. It has to be it has to be difficult, and so he's going to get it together. And I think most San Diego FC fans and fans around town hope that, fortunately for you, that this next game is the one where Anders Dreyer is unlocked, and it's going to come sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Do you think it has anything to do with his haircut, which is objectively bad considering how good his haircut was before?
He just wanted to be more sleek. He wanted to be more lethal. I think there was like a Jason Statham sort of mentality, like going into it, like, like I am just, going to be transporting the ball into the net all season next game. And,
hasn't quite cranked over for him yet.
Good. Yes. Love that. But yeah, potentially, yeah, I am a believer in that. What was that guy? What's his name about? Sanson.
Yeah. I'm just saying, last year's look phenomenal. This year's look a little boring. But maybe it was a situation where he could feel it wasn't coming, so cut it, get back to basics, and try and move on. But hopefully it doesn't work out this week, or at least on Wednesday for us.
Fingers crossed. Tony,
thank you so much for your time, man. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. You can find everything that we do at sandiego.futbol, sandiego.futbol on any social media, on the website, sandiego.futbol, not .com, .futbol. And check us out. We're going to be bringing everybody along to World Cup coverage. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be, it's going to be so cool. Like, we're going to bring everybody in. Like, come on, guys, just follow us and enjoy the time.
Let's go. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for listening. I will see you again on Friday, I guess.
Oh, yeah. If you like this show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends' moms.
Tell your enemies.
Tell your enemies' moms.
And we love you.
Bye.
Bye.
I will marry Chewies.
Yeah.
Because they love Chew Boom Boom sauce.